But let's go across to our reporters now, people who've actually done this expose on the ground, and they give us a glimpse of what exactly is happening and what the ground reality is. Joining me now is Shivani Sharma here from Delhi. Samarth Shrivastava joins me from Lucknow in UP, and Kamaljeet Sandhu joins us from Punjab. Samarth, let me come to you first. We explored hospitals in Noida. We explored hospitals across the Delhi NCR region as well. On the face of it, every time you put out an expose like this, then ordinary, the initial reaction from the government is we'll take action. But are they taking this seriously? Or is it the same issue what I heard from the Punjab Health Minister, who's saying, listen, the money hasn't come from the centre. How do we pass it on?
Well, exactly. See, we have done that investigation, but if the health minister was himself very worried about this particular situation, the ministry themselves had done some review or some drive regarding that, at least to put a check on the private hospitals, whether they are accepting the Ayushman card or not. When we spoke to Brijesh Pathak, the Deputy CM of Uttar Pradesh, and the Health Minister as well, he clearly said that those who are registered, they only are pressed to do this particular thing of giving the free treatment under the Ayushman card. But those who are not registered, then we asked that wherever the investigation happened, wherever that particular thing happened, all private hospitals were registered. And they were clearly saying that they have some issues regarding the reimbursement from the government. They did not get it on time, or they did not get it. So when we asked these questions, he clearly said if some hospital is not giving free treatment under the Ayushman scheme, then the action will be taken against them, and even will be suspend the medical thing of these particular hospitals, the practical practice, etc. But the question is why we have to do this particular investigation. That's the bigger part, because see, the poor has no one to hear. We are the media, we are the fourth pillar. We'll be there for the investigation and everything. But what actually that particular health ministry was doing in the state of Uttar Pradesh and other places where this particular investigation happened by India Today TV, that's the bigger concern. Because yes, we showed those reports of 2 to 3 hospitals either in Noida and Ghaziabad, and action might be taken place. They might take action in this particular regard. But what about others? Because it's also not possible for us even to go into every private hospital and do this random check. That's the responsibility. Why the CMOs have been stationed in the districts? They should be held responsible for this particular thing. At least ensure that
and
whatever.
Just depaneling them is not the solution, right? You have to put some penalties in place. You have to create some fear of the law, and you have to fix some responsibility there and accountability there. That's what's really required. Let me take that question to Shivani as well. Kavalji, just stay, back with me, because Shivani, while the Punjab minister can say, oh, the centre is not giving us, there are a handful of states which are led by the opposition, frankly, right? But in Delhi, in UP, they can't make that claim, right? We are expecting better coordination between centre and state since both BJP governments are in power over there. What's the excuse here in Delhi?
See, Sonal, it's all the more unfortunate when it comes to this gap that has been pointed out by this sting operation of India Today, where national capital Delhi had announced an additional 5 lakh of reimbursement benefit to the people under this scheme. So now 5 lakh plus 5 lakh, that was the amount for which people can get free benefits, and around 1900 processes are covered under this. Sonal, can you imagine? And all over the country, there are more than 31,000 hospitals that are entitled to give benefits under Ayushman card health benefit scheme. But what's happening on ground? Just a check of 7 to 8 hospitals has given us this picture, the bitter truth on ground, that there is a serious requirement to implement this scheme. It should just not be the announcements at the time of the election. It should just not be that card to show the people. But yes, there must be implementation on ground. We need to find that where is this gap? Is there a corruption fabric that's working against the poor people who are in need of hospitals, in need of treatment? Where is the gap? We need to find that out. And in Delhi, around 6.7 lakh families are entitled to get this scheme benefit. But is it already happening on ground? And we saw that it's just not there. The people who have been made to sit in the hospitals as the helpers or the counsellors under this scheme, they just outrightly reject these card holders. They say, no, this kind of surgery cannot be taken under this Ayushman benefit card. So we have to see that where this gap is it about corruption? Is it only about the blame game or the politics that the Punjab government or the other opposition government has been playing, or is it about the actual interest that the government is taking to benefit the user, or just a political card?
Right, Kamalji, that's a good point that Shivani raises, right? Let's try and identify, and I want to pick your brains a little bit on this. Where is the gap? Is the gap between how that one of the owners of the hospital, who's a doctor, who said that, listen, we are not getting any refunds from the government. How long can we carry out like this? That's why now we outrightly reject all Ayushman cards. Is there the gap between what the health minister is saying in saying that, listen, we've not been reimbursed by the central government. How long do we start paying out of our pocket? Where is the gap really?
Well, there are multiple issues. For instance, there are several doctors who pointed out that Ayushman card is being carried by several people, including the VVIPs, some people who are not even entitled. This is mostly meant for those people who cannot afford insurance as such. So this is a card which works well for all those people who are required to really benefit from Ayushman card. Now, there are several others who are actual benefiters when they go to these particular hospitals. Now, they actually do find a lot of loopholes there, and that's where the doctors say either pay by cash, come through the other way. So this is where there is some sort of pressure tactics which are built on patients, especially those who come through emergency. Some people will say, okay, we only have dialysis, we do not admit other patients. The others say, okay, we need to really verify the documents, we need another 24 to 48 hours. Now, not everybody has that sort of a time span to really look into this, because some people really required urgent attention. The other is what the state governments, especially the non-BJP governments, are saying. For instance, Punjab and for instance, Himachal Pradesh. Himachal is a much smaller state, but they're saying they get 50 crore rupees from from central government. 5 crores is only paid by Himachal government, but that is way too small for the population, because remember, they have already created a pendency of 180 crore rupees. So they say the government is still paying for it, but they want center to pinch in as much as 90%, not 50 or 60%. So this is where they say a lot of times the hospitals, and we saw even in the state of Haryana, where several of the hospitals and the doctors went on strike saying they're not going to admit patients of Ayushman scheme simply because they're not getting the money in from the state government itself. Now, that is one of the reasons where hospitals feel that they really need to survive, and they survive on money. So if that's being late or that's not being given to them, that creates a whole lot of issues. So what we've seen is, whether be it the BJP or the non-BJP states, there seems to be some core problems, including the pendency issue, including doctors and hospitals finding loopholes, trying to convince patients to come in either through cash or other mechanisms, simply because they feel they're not making enough profit from this particular scheme itself. And this, mind you, is the flagship scheme of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, something which is to benefit all the poor. But definitely a whole lot of people are actually facing a uphill task when it comes to medical treatment in these impaneled hospitals.
Yeah. Shivani, let me come to you. Kamaljeet made an excellent point over there about how there are multiple reasons why this fails. And one can't say there are niggles anymore, right? Because the scheme has been in place from 2018 onward. It's been a while. Those initial hiccups should have been sorted out by now. Year on year, we are seeing more and more budgetary allocation being done. Your and my taxpayers' money is going into schemes like these. But none of it is actually getting translated on ground. In the biting cold of Delhi, where you and I are at the moment, year after year, we have seen outside AIIMS, outside Safdarjung, you have people who just line up, who perhaps sometimes say that they will die out of the cold before they die out of the illness. That's the reality. On ground, we are not seeing the healthcare system move at all.
You are absolutely right, Sonal. See, it's not only about the Ayushman card or the benefits of 5 lakh or 10 lakh rupees. It's about the complete healthcare system. We've seen the hospitals even before the Ayushman scheme and even after the Ayushman scheme, especially the government hospitals. What's the state of affairs out there? And we really need to investigate what's the reason of this kind of rejection by the hospitals to the Ayushman card holders. Is it the corruption, or is it the loophole, or is it the delay of payments by the government to the hospitals? So we really need to know about this, but certainly this is an enforcement a requirement that needs to be done from the government also, that when you have entitled and enrolled 31,000 hospitals across India, what are you doing to ensure that these Ayushman card holders get benefits of the scheme? So this is certainly a flaw that needs to be corrected, and investigations further that why these people are not being given the benefits in spite of holding the cards.
Sure. Shivani, Samarth, Kavaljeet, all our other colleagues from the SI team who actually have done this investigation, kudos to all of you. Thank you so much for your time and bringing us perspective. Remember, your and my hard-earned money, our taxpayer money is what goes into schemes like these. And when it's not even seen translating on ground, that really pinches. We are days away from the budget, and we would love and really urge the government to look into it and understand where are those 9,000 crores really going. We leave you with that thought. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.